In this series of bass lessons, you're going to learn what you can play over virtually any chord on bass. We're going to start this lesson with the very basics, but by the end of this three-part series, no matter what kind of chords get thrown at you, you'll know exactly what you can play and you'll be able to nail it, no worries. Hi, I'm Luke from becomeabassist.com, and if you're a beginning bass player and you have to look at chord charts, it can sometimes be overwhelmingly confusing. Pianists and guitarists can play all these crazy fancy chords, and you can just be left wondering, what the hell am I supposed to play over that? Well, that's exactly what you're going to learn in this lesson and the following two lessons in this series. Now, by the end, you should have supreme confidence in your ability to look at a chord in a chord chart or a lyric sheet or anywhere else and know exactly what the hell you can play over every single chord in there. It's a big promise, but I'm sure I can help get you there. It's going to be a ton of fun as well, so let's jump right in. We're going to start at the very basic level. If you're a beginner and you're probably not ready to see some chord and then shred some crazy mode of the melodic minor scale, that's probably not the most helpful thing for you right now. For a bass player, the most important thing is just to nail the roots of the chords. Do that and do that well, and you can get through tons of music. Some bass players make entire careers out of just doing this, and it's actually really easy to get started. The secret? When you just see chord symbols, just play the first note of them. If you're aiming for roots, you can effectively ignore everything past the first note of the chord. For example, if you see a chord symbol that just says D, you can just play D, and that's easy. See a chord symbol that just says B minor, just play the B. If you're only aiming for roots, you don't have to worry about the chord quality at all, whether it's major, minor, augmented, diminished, or anything like that. This makes things super easy. Even when you get crazy complicated chords like a G7 sus flat 9, you can ignore whatever is past that first G, and at the basic level, you're in the clear. Now, by the way, I'm not saying don't take an interest in what the other part of the chord is, because you will eventually need to know all that stuff, but when you're just starting out, the roots are going to get you 80, 90, 95, even 100% of the way in some songs. Now, this isn't just some kind of academic exercise either. There are tons of songs that just use roots in their bass lines. So let's take a look at some of them. Now, the chord progression to John Mayer's Waiting on the World to Change, it looks like this. We've got D, B minor, G, D, going to A, B minor, G, D. Yeah? And guess what the bass line does? All it does is the exact same roots as the chords. That's all it does. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? Just follows the roots. Same with songs like The Police's Message in a Bottle. We get the chords in the actual song are like C sharp minor add 9, then goes to A add 9, B and F sharp minor add 9. Of course, we don't have to worry about all the minor add 9s. All we need to play is C sharp, A, B, F sharp. And that's exactly what Sting plays on the recording. Now, there are thousands of songs just like this that only use roots to create their bass lines. Songs like With or Without You, Everyday People from Sly and the Family Stone, almost everything by AC/DC. Once you nail the roots, you are off to the races. Now, this is a very basic concept. Just play the first note of regular chords. It's pretty easy to understand this kind of idea. If you're just starting out on bass though, what's trickier is actually knowing how to find all these notes on your fretboard in an instant. And if you can't do that, then you'll have a hard time putting this idea into practice. So if learning your fretboard is something you need help with, I've actually got you covered. In my ultimate guide to learning your fretboard for bass, you learn a system for developing a deep understanding of your entire fretboard, so you'll always know how to instantly find the notes you're looking for. This means you'll never get lost on your fretboard again, and you'll be able to look at the chords on a chord chart and know where all the roots are in an instant. And by the way, the guide is completely free. To get it, just click the first link in the description, sign up on that page, I'll send it straight to you. There's even a fun little test on there so you can see exactly how well you know your fretboard at the moment. So click that first link in the description and go and get it for yourself. So just play the roots of the chords, easy enough, right? And that's the rule, but there is one exception to this rule, and that's chord inversions. Now let's not get too far into the theory behind chord inversions, but it's when chords have a slash in the middle of them. It'll look something like this. In cases like this, all you have to do is play the note that's after the slash. And if the chart is written correctly, you'll only ever find single notes after the slash. Now this is a pretty simple one. This is just a G chord with a B in the bass. So it's a G major chord, but with a B as the lowest note. You can call it G over B, a G chord over a B note. This next one is a B flat minor 7 over E flat. For something like this, you don't need to worry about the B flat minor 7. You just need to worry about the E flat, the note after the slash. Same goes for any more complicated chords, things like F sharp minor 6 add 11 over A. Again, you don't need to worry about the minor 6 add 11 over A. Minor 6 add 11. You just need to play the A that comes after that slash. Again, this isn't just theory for the sake of theory. This happens all the time in real songs. A great example of this is Led Zeppelin's Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. The chords in the verse of the song are A minor, then he goes A minor over G, and then D over F sharp, then F major, and then E major. And what does John Paul Jones play in the verses? He starts on the A, because that's the root of the A minor chord. Then he goes to G, because it's the A minor over G means that we have to play the note after the slash, so we as bass players play that G right there. Then for the next chord, the D over F sharp, what do you think he plays? It's the F sharp, right? Once again, the note after the slash. And for the last two chords, the F and the E chords, he just plays F and E because they're just regular old chords. Now I'll put a link to the song in the description and this card up here so you can go and check it out for yourself and hear how these work in a real song. You can also check out songs like Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry. The chord progression looks like this. We get C, then G over B, A minor, down to F. We've got that one slash chord in there, that G over B, and for that we just play a B. So one option for the bass line will simply be to go C, B, A, F, just like that. Again, if you need help with learning where all the notes are on your fretboard, make sure and download my ultimate guide to learning your bass fretboard. It'll make it easy to apply everything you've learned about in this lesson. And to recap everything really quick, you learned at the most basic level as a bass player, you're aiming for root notes for most of the time. And you find them by just looking at the chord symbols and playing the first note of them, and in some cases, completely ignoring everything past that first note. You also learned that the one exception to that is slash chords. And in those cases, you simply play the note that's after the slash. Could not be simpler. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you in my fretboard guide as well. I'm Luke from becomeabassist.com, and hopefully I'll also see you in the next video of this series. Cheers.